Okay. All right. Short agenda tonight. First on the agenda is discussion. Is the $200,000 to be held in reserve? Basically, to do with the athletic field. You know, the other half of the athletic field. There's going to be an ordinance that's going to hold resolution. Resolution. I'm sorry. Resolution that this money will be held in reserve until it's used for the replacement of that company. You can.
Yeah, a couple things that I put in there, and this is not what Councilman Sars is letting me know. But first of all, it's up to 200,000.
Yes.
But it's basically either the removing of or repair or replacement of the deck off. It's not for other directors.
Well, wait a minute. It's for whatever they need to replace the athletic field, because there's going to be some other, there were, the deck hockey, from what I understand, they're probably not going to be able to salvage much of the deck hockey, from what I'm being told, but there's other things on that playground that they have to relocate, backstops or whatever. So it was my understanding that it was for, up to, for all the property, for anything that has to do with relocating or, you know what I mean?
Revise that,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of unclear regardless.
The other thing I did put in there was that basically the money's had to be expended, I put in 2 years.
Okay.
It's not expended 2 years, then the agreement's over, money comes back to us. So it just doesn't sit there and sit there and sit there.
Okay. We have a year to get off the athletic field altogether, so that should work.
And I mean, I think if things are in motion and the extra time is needed, that should not be a problem. Just put some impetus in there to don't sit around and wait
Right.
2 to 4 years to get it done.
I mean, I think the plan is to raise more money so that they can build a new deck hockey. But they have a year, we have a year before, pretty much close to a year before we have to vacate the property altogether.
I think this was said.
You guys have any questions, because you'll be voting on this next month.
January
Yes.
1st, 2000.
When you say $200,000, Rosie, they're going to have to come to us every time something needs done. That's just not $200,000 to lay out there and do what you want with it, correct?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
Well, I think, tell me if I'm wrong. If it involves removing the playground equipment, the backstop, the deck hockey, stuff that's out there right now,
Right.
and putting that somewhere, then that money is for all of them.
right.
But it's not to buy a new playland set that doesn't exist over at Fifth Ward Playground. It's not to do something new or different, but move what's there.
Basically, yeah, it's basically to make sure that the services that are available at Athletic Field are, are some,
We're
give
going
the
to
money to
facilitate them for
somewhere
the new
else.
property.
Pardon me?
We're going to facilitate the existing to the new property.
Yeah, like the
Right.
estimate that we got when the deck hockey was built at Twin Lakes, I guess the kit's like $125,000, and then there was another $60,000 for the pro shop, and it came to almost $350,000 is what the estimate was to build the one at Twin Lakes. But from what I understand from talking to Fabian, the park people did a lot of the work, so they didn't spend quite that much. I don't know that we're gonna have that luxury, but I think Park and Rec's hoping to raise additional money to build a new deck hockey. Because there was over 1,000 participants last year in the deck hockey, and it's a big revenue generator for Park and Rec. So in answer to your question, it might not be, like, they may not have to provide us invoices, but we haven't worked out the details. How would we do that, Jim, if they have to provide us invoices to get reimbursed?
I think for our own auditor's sake, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that difficult for them to provide the invoices, I mean, as they do the work,
Right.
they're going to want to be reimbursed, and we can.
It would be nice, though, to kind of have a heads up on what this is going to be before the work's actually done. Say they have a bid for $20,000, Rosie. I myself would like to see that first and be able to vote on that before that work is done.
Yeah, see, that's
It's
not.
too late though, once we get the bill, Rosie, it's too late.
We wouldn't have got, oh yeah, Julie said she couldn't make it tonight, I forgot. That wasn't, I mean, the whole point of getting 400,000 was because of the stuff that's on the property. I mean, our bid was well below 400,000. Our appraisal was less than 200,000 just for the property. Okay, so, I didn't view this as, in some respects, I look at it as their money because they have the property. It's like if you want to sell your house and somebody wants to buy your house, they got to pay for the cost of the property and the cost of the building on your house on the property. And that's, so I don't look at this as something, to me, this is their $200,000 because they're going to need more than that if they want to redo deck hockey. But they can't do it for anything else, use it for anything else other than what athletic field now provides. So they can't, like you said, buy another
Keep the
playground.
status quo that's somewhere else.
So it's not, the commission's going to vote on what they buy, not us. It's their, I mean, I look at it as their money because we wouldn't have got $400,000 for just that empty piece of property. So I don't know, I don't know how else. I mean, if it was up to me, I think the $200,000 should go to them, period.
Well, the other thing the council talked about is making sure that they spend up that amount, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think
And that's why I said I
by
have a
reviewing
problem
the
with it.
invoices,
but They don't need our
you get that.
permission. They don't need our permission.
Well, you've kind of given them, I mean, you're setting up the reserve with the kind of implied fact that you're giving them the permission to use that money.
Right.
It's just a matter of, you want to be able to track that money was spent.
It's not permission, but just justification.
Mhm.
It's spent.
Right.
Simple as that.
Right, you're not saying where they're going to spend it, as long as they spend it within a certain guideline.
I mean, we have the authority to negotiate for them, instead of getting more people, at the table. And as I said before, our appraisal was less than $200,000 for that property. So we wouldn't have got 400 if it wasn't for having the structures and stuff on there. So maybe the best way to do it is, we reimburse them based on the invoices.
I think that way you can track it, because, if you're saying they have to spend up to $200,000, you need a way to track it, and that would be the easiest way to track it.
You guys good with that?
Just didn't answer that question.
What was your question?
Can you tell them where to
Question
go?
was, we wanted to make sure everything was being done, that we was,
Well, we're not going to vote on it. I mean, it's up to them to decide. I mean, the stipulation behind the money is they can't use it unless it's for something that's relevant to the athletic field.
okay.
And they know that. And, I mean, I guess if they turned us in a bill, then we wouldn't, if it didn't meet those qualifications, then we wouldn't pay. Right?
That's,
It's like
okay.
any other
And
grant.
my point too, right there. Do we have somebody tracking this to make sure that's going to be done?
Well, we sign off. Wayne signs off.
Well, yeah, we're
I
going
sign
to review the
off.
invoices. I mean, to your point, we're not going to tell them what contractor to use. They're going to make that decision, but then we are going to tell, once we get the invoice, and it shows that it's for basically replacing something that was on the athletic field. I mean, it's going to, a lot of times I tell the deck hockey is the easiest thing to say. All right, you're starting to build a deck hockey, they got $50,000 into a contractor starting to put the cement slab down, and they want to get paid for it. Okay. It's part of the deck hockey.
If they buy the kit to build the deck hockey, that's like $125,000. And then if they build the pro shop, that's another $60,000. So there's their almost $200,000.
Yeah, I mean, they're easy to track because we'll have an invoice and you know what it's for.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we're requiring them to actually move every piece of equipment to another place. It may be too old.
Right.
So with the deck hockey, if it's more prudent to use that money and get a new deck hockey that'll last another 20 years, fine.
Yeah.
As long as it's toward the deck hockey and not the new kayak routes, let's say down Cardinal Park. That has nothing to do with the board.
These questions come up because the new council coming on, Jack, myself, Eric. I guarantee every one of them has been questioned as I have a million times. This is a big issue with the people in the
Right.
city right
And
now.
that's why,
We're new council members coming on, and Jack, have you not been questioned 1,000 times, Eric? 1,000 times on what we're gonna do about it, and
yeah.
I think the
this
idea
was
is
a deal you all made,
keep
we're
it
coming
status quo
into it.
stuff. Keep it status quo. In other words, there was a park there, there
Right.
should be a park somewhere else, moving that stuff or replacing it. So that when they build there, we're still gonna have that park.
It's fine, but like I pointed out, you know,
Yeah.
this is you all made, but we're coming into it.
Well, that's why I asked if you guys had any questions.
Right.
Now's the time to, because we're going to be voting on it in the January meeting, so we may as well.
January 11th.
Well, didn't they get a
Only reason I'm
grant
asking, Rose,
to,
Yeah.
Madam Mayor, rather.
they got a grant to replace the junk they have out the athletic field, the playground equipment?
That's the one at Third Ward.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
but why would they?
That's not part of the 200,000.
No, but I'm saying, you're saying about taking stuff and putting it here and there, why would they want to put that there anywhere else when it's,
Well, that grant will no longer, that grant's gone.
okay, I know.
But I see what you're saying. Yeah, they wouldn't take old equipment that they were going to replace and put somewhere else.
And as far as the backstop, where are they gonna put that in?
Well, I don't know if they're even going to do anything with it. All I'm saying is that it's just to make sure that we replace the recreation services that we had at athletic field somewhere else.
I mean, chances are it's going to go in the deck on.
Yeah.
Whether it's a new one, whether it's moving the old one, I mean, that's the main component on that field.
Yeah.
And the little building there. So it is two things are the main component. Chances are this money's going to go into that. It's just like the rest of the equipment probably isn't.
Jack, did you have another question?
No, but that's the first time I've heard that the appraisal came in at under 200,000 for the land.
Our appraisal was.
I think that will clear a lot of things up if that gets in the press, because I didn't understand that. I thought $400,000 was for the land.
That's what I thought.
And as far as the pro shop goes at 60,000,
Yeah.
I think maybe we can look at that a little
Well,
bit, maybe bring that
I mean,
down.
again, if they want to raise money, I mean, it's up to them. If they want to raise money and build a $50,000 deck hockey, as far as I'm concerned, that's up to them. Yeah, I mean, you can see our appraisal. It was
No, I believe you.
less than that.
I didn't know that.
It was 177.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Pension changes, we're going to have.
Wait a minute, one question. I'm sure everybody else is wondering, what are we going to do with the other $200,000 that belongs to us?
I would suggest you put it into capital
That's what I would
and
suggest.
a reserve account. Yeah, you've got, there's no long range, and I'll beat you here for a minute. There is no long range plan here for any capital needs. And we really need to do, we've got an HVAC system that, and we've got the thermostats, or vacuum thermostats. I mean, the only other place you're going to find them is Smithsonian. I mean, there's nobody has them anymore. The system here is old. We have a compactor, and when that dies, we're out of creek.
Right, and that makes us a lot of money.
So, I mean, I think from the, and actually, hopefully you all be involved in it, we need to look at a longer-term capital plan. You know, something that's 3, 4, 5 years out, because we've got trucks that need replaced. Joe will beat you here on that one. We've got cars from the police department that, you know, need replaced every so many years. We have a lot of equipment that needs to have a plan, and that could be part of that plan.
Why don't we say that money goes into the emergency fund right now until we figure out a plan? We
Well,
don't
that's
touch
where
it.
it's going to go, into the reserves, right?
Yeah, we can put it in we can put it in the reserve fund. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I mean, I don't care what you call it, capital. As council, if I put it in capital reserve and you want to spend it on something else, it just comes out.
Right.
You know, it's not really a reserve because it's not reserved by ordinance. Don't want to say too much about the council, the commission, the solicitors here, but
Oh, he's right.
as long as we don't set it up by ordinance for a call. All right, the pension changes. We had, the police contract has a drop calculation in it. It requires changes to our pension ordinance. That's going to be,
That will be an ordinance.
it'll be on the meeting of the 11th. And it's more of a structure change too, because the pension didn't speak to a drop, now it needs to. That's all. We have,
And I might say it's been vetted by Mr. Asek, so
yeah, he's our, Muckenoff is our pension advisor, and Bill's been around, well, I've worked with him for a number of years. He's very knowledgeable, and he's the one that helped craft the ordinance. So. Next is, in the budget has for the department heads, a 3% increase for 2006 in salary. And the duty drivers, yeah, it's about 6 or 7 people. Then the 256 ordinance update.
That, every year we make some changes to our vehicle and traffic section of the ordinance, and we do it by resolution because it's easier to do that way. And then come January, we take all those changes and put them into one ordinance. And this year there are very few changes. I think there were 2 handicap parking spaces, and that's pretty much it. But this will be the catch-up ordinance on those 2 resolutions. We've done it this way for years.
And last is there'll be no tax increase. You're just stating the millage for the current millage. So, no, well, I thought you were going to say something. So all we're doing is letting basically going on record is the millage is the same. Yeah, just fine. The one I wasn't going to. There we go. And that's it from my portion of the agenda.
So you guys know that January 4th, we have our organization meeting at 6:30 here. Mr. Kelly, you have the authority to swear everybody in, correct?
Yes, I do.
So we'll do the swearing in, we'll do the appointments of the solicitor and co-solicitor, the appointment of deputy mayor, the appointment of city secretary, and what else? That's it. And then we'll adjourn, that'll be it. And then our regular meeting will be the 11th. Anything you guys on your mind? Yes, Duffy?
I'll wait. I'll wait, Madam Mayor.
All right. That's it then. See you guys on the 4th. Happy New Year.
He's back to change the one for the 200 off.
What's that?
That's it. They're not always this easy, Zach. Another one of our new